Vamos a comenzar en 3, 2. Great. So, hello everyone. Welcome to our webinar, Study in Spain and Boost Your Career with International MBA at ESIC. My name is Karen Botero, and once again, I'll be hosting this webinar on representing Viva-Mundo. So before we get started, I would like to share a video with you all about ESIC, and then we will start with the presentation. We are glad that you are here joining us. And hold on, I'm sharing my screen right now.
I am the world. I am expertise. I am specialization. I am digital thinking.
I am business.
I am talent.
I am prestige.
I am solidarity. We are who we are. We are ESIC.
Awesome, thank you very much. So let's start with this webinar. So today we are joined by two representatives of ESIC, Business and Marketing School. Please let me introduce Mr. Luis and Mr. Jesus. They will be talking about studies in Spain, sharing some useful information about their programs, and of course they will be telling us how to boost your career studying an international MBA. Also, we are joined by Luca, an international alumni at the SIG, who will be sharing his experience as an international student. So if you have any questions, please drop all your questions on the Q&A box at the bottom of the screen, and we will go back to them during and at the end of the presentation. So now I would like to give the floor to our panelist, Mr. Luis.
Okay. Hi guys, thank you for being with us this afternoon for us. And I'm delighted to introduce you once you have seen the video from ESIC and you have got a rough idea about our school. I'm going to talk to you about or giving you the highlights of what is in a certain sense the flagship of our business school, which is the International MBA. International MBA is a program specifically designed to train senior executives. People that shortly in their careers will be chief executive or general managers or in general top level executive. And this is the purpose of the master. And the master has been specifically designed for that. As you have seen during the video, the master is ranked on the top masters in the world nationally, such as El Mundo, Merco, Economista, but as well internationally, Bloomberg, America Economia, QS, Poets and Quants, and some others, which gives an idea about the quality of the master. Some specifics about the master, because it's a kind of different MBA, and one probably the main difference is that it is delivered in 2 continents. And those 2 continents, or at least one of them, is at students' choice. The first part of the program, which is from late September, early October up to end of February, is delivered in Spain. Second part, which is from March up to July, practically the student has got a choice either to go to Shanghai University in China, in Shanghai, or Florida International University in Miami. And this is, again, student choice to complete their master, which means that with this master, you get a double degree, International MBA by ESIC and MBA by SISU, or Professional MBA by Florida International University. So 2 degrees within the same master, which is, and Luca will tell you a lot about this when he talks. It's an incredible experience for any students to share 2 continents with all what it implies, not just in terms of studies, but in terms of experience. The master has got a very robust training ecosystem. Is first of all based on current demands of different sectors. We designed the program according to the requirements of the employers, and which is the most important part of the program design for us. We give power to choose to students in a sense that they have got several set of electives according to their preferences or their specialities, and as well they can choose to follow the sessions either in the classroom or online whenever they have got other compromise, other extension. And the master has got a progressive pedagogical model, which is quite important. That means that despite of your original career, you can follow perfectly the master. It's designed for to treat every student. For example, Luca, who will be with you in a few minutes, he's a lawyer. So he's not an expert in business, or he was not an expert in business. He is today. So, but because of how the master is designed, suppose no student will have difficulty despite of their university career. The program is accredited by AMBA and EPAS. For those of you that are not familiar with what accreditation means, that is a kind of quality stamp given by 2 out of the 3 most important institutions checking the master. And this is becoming more and more important because of the demands from the employers. So normally they are not just demanding somebody with an MBA, but with an accredited MBA, which is, as I said, a kind of quality proof of the master. We've got a strong partnership with several universities that you have here at the presentation video. In the case of International MBA, we deal with Shanghai International Studies University, which is one of the top universities in China. Huge university, quite very good prestige. And the same thing we can say about Florida International University, which is a marvelous campus in Miami. And this is basically all, guys. I can add that our faculty, you will have a very good representative of our faculty today, Mr. Jesús Centenera, is made basically of practitioners. So they talk about the reality of this work. They are not theoretical people, but they have got quite an extensive and deep academic background. So that gives, I think, a unique combination and makes the International MBA one of the best choice that candidates can do for following a master. And I don't want to take more of your time. I recommend you for more information with the program, etc., because I don't want to bore you with that, to visit the webpage. And in case that there is any question, I will be delighted to answer them right now. I have to leave in about 10 minutes, so I cannot wait until the end of the session. And I will miss the priceless conference of Mr. Jesús Centenera, but I have got other duties. So is there any question? Karen?
Yes, I think we have, so thank you very much, Mr. Luis. I think we have 2 questions so far. The first question for you is, what are the application requirements for international students?
Yeah, you have to have your university degree, not specific studies, just university degree, 3 years experience, and you have to deliver us 2 essays, and you will have a personal interview with me.
Perfect, thank you very much. Our second question will be, how high a level of English will I need to attend? Do you accept Duolingo testing?
Yeah, ideally C1. I mean, we don't require an official certification because, I mean, with the interview, the candidates have got with me and with the essays, we know that if he will be capable or not of following the classes. Nevertheless, I have to say that C1 or equivalent to C1 is ideal. B2 can be enough. That depends as well on the dexterity of the students to talk.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. And our third question says, does the institution offer any advice in terms of visa application?
Yeah, we've got an international department. I mean, we do not deal with visas. That's a single problem of everyone. But we gave them all the documents and all the support they need. We have got a specific department dedicated to that.
Okay, well, thank you very much. If anyone else have any other questions, please do not hesitate to drop off your questions here in the Q&A box section. I don't know if you can maybe provide us any kind of contact detail or any email so they can contact you directly if they're interested in applying.
Sure, I will be happy to contact anybody by email or answering any question that may arise.
Perfect, thank you very much. So we'll be sharing the email of Mr. Luis or the contact details of ESIC through the chat. Perfect. I don't know if you have any other information that you want to add to this presentation, Mr. Luis?
No, that's all.
Perfect.
Thank you very much for your attention, guys.
Perfect. Thank you. I think we have another question.
Yes.
It says, how can I apply to the master, I guess?
Yeah, you can apply through our webpage, which is and somebody from our admission department will contact you immediately.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I am sharing the webpage of ESIC through the chat right now. Thank you very much once again, Mr. Luis.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Well, so now, as I mentioned before, we are joined by Mr. Luca. He is an international alumni at ESIC, and he will be sharing his experience in this MBA and studying in Spain, of course.
Yes, thank you, Karen, for inviting me. First of all, I want to tell my personal story as a lawyer, Italian lawyer. My name is Luca Antonietti. I'm now the CEO of Green Energy Plus. That is a company working for the energy transition of the real estate and the buildings of Catholic Church. Now I am a member of Permanent Observatory on Ecclesiastical Assets, so in Rome, in Italy. I was the class representative of my program of International MBA. That was a very, very transformative experience for me. Very, very useful. I can say now that that experience changed my career, definitely, because imagine like a travel, my my career in that sense. I wanted to change something about my personal career until that moment. So I had a legal background because I am a lawyer, but I was looking for something that can help me and support me to introduce myself to the international business. And I started to visit some business schools because, as you know, the MBA is an investment of money, but first of all, it's an investment of life. It's very important because I wanted to breathe the air, the environment of the business schools. And I chose ESIC because I found a real community, a familiar space. And you should know that ESIC has something unique about, for example, the classroom. The classroom are usually very small and reduced because the classroom, like in our program, International MBA, want to help us to engaging. So very useful experience, and more the network that we built. It was extremely interesting because we built friendship like fellow passengers in a travel. I tell, and imagine that the program is in 2 different continents. So when you arrive in China, for example, that was Shanghai, our destination, I always say that we didn't know anything except the weight of the suitcases, because we arrived in a very in a new place, first of all, and we arrived in a place that very new, very innovative, because attracted so many talent due to the fast growth of the Chinese economy. I think that Shanghai is one of the best places for study, but the common sense is that put together two different culture, Western culture of business and management and Eastern philosophy of business and management. In this sense, ESIC International MBA is a unique program, and that it changed our career of myself, but including my colleagues. I remember the last day in Shanghai, we realized that we were changing everybody, because we were different people from the people we were at the first day in Madrid. This is because ESIC helped, ESIC support this kind of transformation, this kind of introduction of the business world, in the business world. And today we are, after a couple of years, we are very happy and satisfied myself and my colleagues, because we are working in a very effective way, maybe in first-class position, of course in first-class positions, but we maintain a very good network because we were of so many different nationalities. And I want to suggest something to people who are thinking about apply to ESIC. I suggest to don't lose time, please, and don't think too much. A program of International MBA is a flagship program, maybe of the school, but in the same time is something that can transform and change your professional life and career forever and change your mindset. Finally, I want to close my short intervention with a brief sentence of John Paul II. He told, the future starts today, not tomorrow. In this sense, we know that the pandemic and the coronavirus blocks us, but we don't have to feel this kind of scare, because after the darkness we will see the light. So please plan your future in a proper way. You don't have to live with this kind of fear, but choose properly your future and think about this kind of your personal hope and your future. And ESIC is definitely the best choice that you can make. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Luca, for sharing your experience with us. I think we have a couple of questions for you.
Yes.
Before we move on, so it says, here it says, will I be able to work during my studies there?
International MBA is a very, it's a program that you have to dedicate yourself in a full way. You cannot think to deal with a program like MBA, but especially International MBA in ESIC, and thinking about work and study at the same time. This is, it's hard because the lessons are also the professors, they deserve the best of your commitment. So really, I don't think that it's possible to put together work and this kind of program.
No worries. Thank you very much. We have another questions that involves more like your experience as an international student. It is in Spanish. I don't know if you want me to read it in Spanish. Yeah. Okay. ¿Cuál es el costo de vida para un estudiante internacional?
Yo lo que dije antes es que es una inversión que te cambia, que te va a cambiar la carrera, tu carrera profesional para siempre. En mi caso, yo he podido obtener una beca, una scholarship. Para mí fue un poquito más fácil porque ESIC en este sentido me ayudó, y sé que ESIC ofrece también una becas para estudiantes internacionales. Así que yo invito a mirar la página web y sobre la cuestión de las becas, porque es muy importante. Pero por otro lado, puedo decir, yo que visité muchísimo más escuelas de negocios en España, puedo decir que la relación calidad-precio es incomparable de ESIC, porque por un programa como el MBA, el International MBA de que estamos hablando ahora, el precio es súper bueno y competidor porque yo creo que no es tan alto y si lo vamos a comparar con otras escuelas de negocios y sobre todo con la calidad altísima que tenemos en ESIC. Así que creo que sin entrar en números, el importe merece la pena de una experiencia única, intercontinental entre dos continentes y sí, es una inversión de vida, porque yo imagino gente, sobre todo de Sudamérica, que tiene que llegar a España, cambia vida, llegar a China es otro mundo, pero sí, la ESIC ayuda mucho, así que invito a mirar incluso la página sobre las becas.
Awesome, thank you very much. We have another question that says, how can you do networking during the MBA?
¿Español o italiano o inglés?
English if you want.
It's very easy. It's very easy because, as I told before, it's a very engaging experience, the MBA, in the sense that, in my case, we were from some different nationalities, everyone with different backgrounds. So you can imagine that also the selection is for create a sort of team. And it's very easy because the classes of the MBA are very different from university and college classes, usually academic, are very practice. And it's very easy to share experience, to meet other person, also to know very well the colleagues, because in 1 year of this kind of experience, I can tell now that I know more and better people of International MBA than people that I frequent since probably the childhood, because during the program you can see the weaknesses, the strength, every single point, and you are out of your comfort zone. So please don't forget that when you are in China, when you are in Spain, when you are abroad, you are out of your comfort zone. So you have to challenge yourself and to challenge your own limits. And this is very easy to build an effective network in this sense.
Awesome, thank you very much, Luca. I think we have a couple of more questions, but maybe we should give the word to Mr. Jesus so he can give his presentation, and then we can answer the rest of the questions at the end of the presentation, if it's that okay for you.
Yes, it's a pleasure for me.
Perfect, thank you very much. So now I'd like to give the floor to Mr. Jesus, who is going to give us his presentation about ESIC and his masterclass. Mr. Jesus, welcome.
Okay, thank you very much, Karen, and welcome to all of you. When they asked me if I could give a master class, I said, well, to do so, you need to be a master, and I am not. I mean, I prefer to be humble because I consider that the world is so complex that it's very good to recognize that we're all ignorance, and it's difficult to grasp reality, to apprehend reality. In any case, I try to share with you part of my experience as a professional, not only as a faculty, but as Luis Sanchez mentioned before, the director, as a practitioner, and some of the things that I'm beginning to listen around. I will share with you a presentation, and I hope it will be good for you and that you will learn something out of it. So let me get into here. And Karen, are you watching the screen, International Trade and Globalization in a post-COVID world?
Yes, sir, we're watching it. Thank you.
Okay, so let's get started. The first point is a short summary. I am PhD in history, like Luca, who studied law. I came from humanities. I make my MBA in Spain. I make a general program in general management by ESIC, which is Universidad de Navarra, which is associated with Harvard, and we made a lot of case studies. I'm a BA of Arts in Geography, and I'm graduating in European Communities by the Universidad Politécnica. My work, actual work, is managing partner of Ageron International, and I have worked previously as international manager, managing director from multinationals like Accenture to family companies, family business in Laboratorios Indas or Leche Pascual in Spain. I'm a polyglot and a traveler, and I think this is very important. I mean, if you're looking for a diploma, I don't know if this is what you should be doing, because what you really need is to have more skills, to have a better knowledge of the world, and to become better professionals. Having studied history, how could it be that I end up having my own company, consultancy firm, to make market research and being a faculty of a prestigious business school like ESIC? And the point is that I have the opportunity to live in several countries like Morocco, Argentina, Mexico, Russia, or the Philippines, and that I have the opportunity to travel to over 75 countries beside these 5. And I can communicate in Russian, German, French, English, Italian, Spanish. The point is that the more you're able to do, the better your employability is going to be. But at the same time, you have to recognize that whatever you study, it's going to be very difficult because the world is changing. And it changes so fast that it's difficult to keep pace. If you would like to contact me, you can contact me by LinkedIn. Remember, my name is Jesús Centenera, and I'm available at LinkedIn, and I will be watching it today and tomorrow to see if I have any new requests. Actually, I reject many of the requests of unwanted requests, but if you say you mentioned that it's because you attend this masterclass, I will happily be part of your professional network, okay? So the first one is, let me show the starting point. Before the Trump presidency, at the end of Obama presidency, there were talks about the Transatlantic Free Trade Agreement. Same thing that the United States had with Mexico and Canada, and NAFTA, and also then with Chile and other countries. They wanted to make a huge one and make the biggest economic area and interchange of goods and services around the world. The point is that even before Trump came to the presidency, there were a lot of problems to make this through, because there were technical things and there were protectionist measures. But at the same time, if I think of 15 years ago or even 10 years ago, everybody thought that it was actually, Fukuyama said, the end of a story, and that now history was over, that there was only one capitalist and the world was going to be free trade. And we all believed that was going to move forward, but it didn't. And a lot of people would like to blame Mr. Trump. I mean, I'm not getting into politics. My point is that, yes, but there were lobbies behind him trying to do it. And I'm going to put an example that really hurt Spanish exports. When the lobby in California said, look, they're selling Spanish black olives in the United States and they're receiving subsidies from European governments, and that is not fair. But at the same time, there was a conflict between Airbus and Boeing, and the Americans pressure, and then there were some European countries that received custom duties or custom tariffs on their goods. And the problem is that it began a trade war, not only with Spain, but also with China. The point is now, presidency has changed, we have Biden, and is it going to change a lot? I mean, are those lobbies going to disappear? Is this going to be free trade again? And then in the middle of the pandemic, because pandemic is making the economy to shrink, and there's plenty of problems, and maybe people would like to go back to protectionism. The point is, not only the United States, how is China performing? How is it behaving? Because Europe and the United States, they suffer a lot. Latin America has suffered a lot and is going to suffer more with the pandemic. But China has got, even being the center of the whole pandemic, they have gone away pretty well, not to talk of Japan or Korea. So the point is actually the weight in economic weight is shifting to Asia, and it's becoming more and more important. Let's make simple maths. Let's assume that China will get a similar level in economy, in technology, in development like the United States. Well, American population is 333 million, 5 million up or down, it doesn't matter. Well, China is around 1,300 or 1,400. So it's almost 4 times bigger. So sooner or later, Chinese economy is going to be the leading economy in the world. And the point is, especially after the pandemic, they are going to be very strongly reinforced. Okay. My point is that, what is the situation? I mean, we really don't know, but we know that some economies, and I'm thinking now of Brazil, and I'm thinking now of some African economies, now India is being devastated by this. The point is that some countries, especially rich countries like Israel or the United States, they're making, or the United Kingdom, they're vaccinating the population, but the economy has stopped, and it became almost a full stop a year ago, and it's going to affect. So probably the image that I'm going to show you, we're not going to see the palio in Siena anymore, or not in the near future. The point is, how is it going to change? I mean, how is it going to change the power of a state that is curtailing or limiting the freedom of different nationals, and it's limiting the travel. I wanted to go to the United Kingdom, but coming from Spain, I will need to make quarantine there, and I will have to pay for 10 days in a hotel before I am able to start moving anywhere. So I'm not going. But the point is, there's business that is not going to be done. Not only tourists, there's a lot of business that are going to suffer with these policies that I'm mentioning. What is the problem with the market contraction? That there were less sales because there were less people producing, unemployment went up, and this higher unemployment, it also means that there were contraction in some particular sectors. Others went very well, but the majority of the sector has suffered a lot. And then if you have more people unemployed, they have less money to spend, then it's going to affect the whole economy. The problem is, how is the economic recovery going to be? And there's going to be in strong regional differences between some countries and other countries. It will not be easy to straighten things up. Let me tell you that we're expecting to have a lot of problems. And it's going to be because there's going to be unemployment, depreciation, the evolution of the gross domestic product, and above all, the evolution of import and exports, which have to be monitored to see maybe the markets we were selling before are not going to buy now. Maybe they're going to look for other alternatives. And my advice will be, you have to look into that. I mean, I know that International MBA is training you to become functional managers so that in the future you will be able to become to the CEO or top management committee position in a huge company. But to arrive there, you also have to realize that all the decisions, human resources, purchasing, marketing, sales, everything is globalized now. So you need to have this small paint, at least a little bit, knowing of how the international world works and how our export working in a particular market. Online sales and direct access to market is going to be rethought in a profound way, but also the last mile logistics, something that we have seen, and you have seen it yourself. I mean, I don't have to explain anything. This is not to be an expert. It's how Amazon has grown all over the world and how Alibaba is developing. I mean, how people decided we're going to stay at home. Then the food service went down, but the supermarket sales went up. But then part of the sales, I mean, they diminished. Because if people were staying at home and they were buying more for supermarkets, if they have less money available and they don't have salaries, or they're unemployed, or they're afraid that they may be unemployed, then is when you will have less consumption. And it's important. And let me tell you something, not all companies are ready. And when I see companies say, no, I have my website. Okay, great. No, I even have a YouTube channel. Okay, wonderful. Show me how many subscribers do you have? How many people has viewed this? And I'm telling of a Spanish institution, very strong one, promoting foreign trade and investment. And they got a video 6-7 years ago about Spanish technology for life. And they got 500 people visiting that. I mean, that was an expensive video because it was very well done. And then, especially in pandemic, a lot of people start watching YouTube, watching Twitter, watching LinkedIn, using the online tools. But the point is it also happening with your company? I mean, do you just need to have a website and social media, or is something unexpected from you? And most companies are failing. That is my point. Not being an expert in digital marketing, whenever I do comparative studies in my market research company, I see that some companies are doing it brilliantly, but most companies are failing miserably because they really don't understand that the point is not to be there, but to get people to look at you, which is a totally different story. There's going to be a problem with many distributors and importers who were very reliable, but we're not so sure now. Imagine a company has been established 10 years ago, and this company back in 2010, 2008, 2012, and this company was buying and growing, and this company get very good ratings, and this company was buying from different markets. But suddenly they were importing goods, and they usually in the high end of the market segment, and maybe they're not selling as good. But the point is, if you ask for a financial report of these companies to an export insurance company, how do you know that what they have done in the last 10 years is going to be similar to the results that they're going to have now? Because maybe they haven't sent their profit and loss accounts from 2020. Maybe they have lost a lot of money. Maybe they're in debt now. And this is very dangerous, because the map that we have in the past to guide ourselves to these troubled waters, to these dire straits, is not useful anymore, because there was a huge change that has made a different world. And I'm not sure if those same importers, these wholesalers, distributors, are going to be as strong as they were, or if they're going to follow the same policy. Okay, it's going to be more difficult if you're selling with a letter of credit. Well, nothing is happening. But what if you're giving some credit? And something you need to find is that a lot of companies in the United States and in Europe, when they buy, they ask you to give 30 days, 60 days credit. And if you don't, they say, well, I'm not interested. They may even go for a documentary remittance, and they may accept that they will pay against documents. That's fine. But then I'm missing something else, is how you as exporters know that you're going to get your money, you're going to collect your bills, because it's not that easy. And it's difficult, right? It's going to be more difficult to reach the markets because the map, the positioning map is changing. Another thing is the other side of the coin, is that opportunities are also rising. They're opening up. Why? Because a new deck of cards is dealt. You always have the same cards in your hand, and you were actually looking at the same game, but now they have shuffled the cards. There's a new one. They're giving you new cards, new opportunities. They're saying this is a very difficult market. I was in Japan like 1.5 years ago before the pandemic, and it was very difficult to find an importer interested, because everything was set and everything was already done and everybody was very happy. The point is, people is not so happy now. And a lot of distributors and a lot of importers and a lot of companies are looking for new suppliers, new partnerships, new joint ventures. So actually, this pandemic has changed not only your personal life, but the life of the companies, and they're looking for different approaches to the market. And I think this is important too. It's a new land of opportunities. The next thing is, in case of logistics and promotion costs, there will be a backlog of shipments that may cause delivery delays and higher costs, but this will be temporary. I mean, already in the months that I'm talking right now, in May 2021, it's beginning to normalize. I mean, there's going to be the traffic, the flow of goods is beginning to be normal again. But it was collapsed during several months. And then at the end of 2020 and the beginning of this year, there were some delays, but now it seems to be very pretty much on schedule, and it's fine. But in the meantime, a lot of logistics are going to be out of line for a period of time. So what do you think is going to happen? How is it going to be solved? I mean, how can you make your plans for purchasing and getting the best supplies around the world for your company? Even if you're selling your own market, what is happening with your competitors who were sourcing out of your country before? How is it going to work? And then the companies will have to become stronger with online sales and distribution, and they will have better costs, increasing the differences. In the past, I mean, you were online or offline or multi-channel, but now some companies are very good in omni-channel, multi-channel sales, while other companies are not so. And that's affecting also the distribution cost, the logistic cost, and how do you divide your overhead or your fixed cost among bigger sales or lesser sales. So I think that difference is going to aggravate. Excuse me one thing, when I say I think, well, it's not really that I think. It's talking with experts, reading professional press, talking with another consultants, talking with faculty at ESIC and other business schools. I mean, a lot of people is telling you, look, this is what is happening. A lot of companies are going out pretty well. Other companies are going down the sink. And I don't think how they're going to survive in this particular environment. There was a problem of the fixed cost. If you have fixed cost, but you have a lot of sales, you split them. And when you make the cost breakdown, you can find out this is the part which is variable cost, and this is fixed cost. But what if the sales of the company has fallen? When the percentage of the fixed cost will go higher and either eat up the margin, or it will make you raise your prices and you can get out of the market. I mean, the market is very turbulent. And when I have to make market studies, I was ordered one in June, July August last year, and I'm working now for the International Olive Oil Council in several countries, Argentina, Tunisia, Egypt, Jordan. I mean, the point now is that the prices that were more or less stable, I mean, even with inflation, it was easy to see the picture of the market. New companies are coming in, other companies are disappearing, they're changing prices. Inflation is high in some countries because there's less good, and then there's the currency is suffering a lot, and then there's a lot of pressure on the values of the goods, and then people is trying to buy goods because they don't trust their currency anymore, but that is putting extra pressure on the currency and the exchange rate, which is making it very complicated. Then, what about fairs and trade missions? There will be fewer people willing to travel and receive travelers. We have tried to organize an investor mission. We were inviting journalists, we were inviting politicians, we were inviting professional buyers for the Spanish genomics, livestock genetics from Spain, and we invited something like 35 companies to come to Spain in May, and we were paying for the airplane ticket, and we're paying for accommodation, and we're making the presentation and taking them to see the breeders in Spain. 28 of them out of 30 decline it. They say, we don't feel comfortable enough. I mean, even if the pandemic, if the infection is going down, people don't want to go to trade fairs. I was last month in Dubai. Dubai gets like 90 million people going through Dubai airport every year. Well, this year, the figures has shrunk by more than 80%. And we went to trade fair, the first one after the pandemic. For a whole year, we couldn't travel. Then we could travel and go to a trade fair. The first one they tried to do, and there were very few exhibitors, and there were less visitors in that particular fair. I don't think virtual fairs are substituting the real trade fairs, but that still has an impact. And it's going to make more difficult to get some appointments, to deal with new partners in the different environment. And then again, as I told you, I mean, if you're global managers, it's not only your market. It's not the Peruvian market or Colombian market or Mexican market. I mean, you're going to have competitors coming from China, from the United States, and you also need to find people abroad. So how are you going to do it if they have changed the rules? I remember Mario Benedetti, the Uruguayan writer, says in Spanish, cuando no sabíamos las respuestas, nos cambiaron las preguntas. It was so difficult to get to know all the answers, and then they went and changed the questions. And I think this is the point right now with the situations. The far that has been lost, I mean, they cannot be recovered, like the hotel rooms that they cannot be sold. And some companies like airlines, hotels, travel industry, they suffer a lot, but they also impact consumption in food service, in supermarkets, in sales of textiles, garments. I mean, a lot of things are done. For instance, the odorants. I mean, people at home, I mean, you still take a shower and use deodorant. You know, the sales of supermarkets has gone down. A lot of people is buying less garments because they don't go out, they don't buy shoes, and it's affecting the whole economy. Online promotion will gain more momentum. I'm positive. I mean, this is so obvious, I shouldn't tell anything about it. But if it is going up, what about your digital marketing skills? I mean, what do you know about this? Are you good with that? I mean, that's why in any professional program now, they have a lot of internationalization, they have a lot of digital, because the world is transforming and they're looking for different skills. And then promotional materials, which also changed. There's a lot of things that has changed a lot in the world. Internal company requirements. I mean, there's going to be a lot of companies forced to get short-term sales and results because they say we haven't sold for many months and we have a lot of overhead and we have banks who are requesting credit and we're going to ask for more credit to pay for a situation thinking that it's going to be a situation for some more months. But then what about the long term? Because probably we need to lower our prices and give aggressive offers to try to get customers, to try to get any income. Companies always try to sell with prices which will pay for their cost. But sometimes they just get some money, any money, get rid of the stocks. It's better to have less money in the bank and being able to pay the payroll than having a lot of stocks, even if I lose money to that. Administrations in some countries will tell you that they're going to help you, that they need to foster the internationalization of the companies, but at the end of the day, they may not have money enough to do so. So it's going to be pretty much on your own. And bankruptcy is going to get a lot of people out of job. and it's a good time to sign up. Probably companies will have a lot of candidates to choose from because there's a lot of companies going down the sink, as I mentioned before. Reflection for the future, and this is an important one. Be wary of experts. They're very good ones. I mean, not me. Be of the real experts, the people who is good professionals and they have the head full of ideas and they can see the future. I mean, these soothsayers. My point is there's a lot of confusion. And the best thing you should do is be very careful. Don't say this is what's going to happen in Spain or USA or China. No, 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 no. Get information from a lot of sources. I mean, I'm just giving you a tip. Why don't you try to get a lot of tips? Why don't you do with companies who is in logistics and can see what I see now? They were giving tourist figures in Spain. We used to receive 65 million or so, figure around that. Okay, the figure in the whole year. The figure in what we have done for the last 4 months is about 85% less. And in some communities, it's 95% less. Other communities like Canary Islands have survived better. But you should be careful of this. I mean, be aware of what they're telling you. Inertia is not good. You have to relearn. And that's the second part. You were used to do business in one war, and the war is different. It's the end of the Roman Empire, and there are new rules. Can you play with the new rules or not? That's the question you should be asking yourselves. Another one, there's going to be great uncertainty. We don't know if there will be another peak, how big it will be. There will be confinement measurements. But even if done, it remains to see who will be stronger from the crisis. We know that the weight of the economy of the world is shifting to Asia. How much do you know about Asia? The point is then, Jesus, probably we should do a master program in China, Korea, or Japan. Why not? I mean, the weight is shifting towards Asia. And then the point is, the kind of companies that are growing are different. And there's going to be a lot of strong companies and a lot of family businesses are going to suffer a lot. But it's important to remember that the world will change, actually it's changing radically, and that you're facing something that is not what you were used to. Then let me finish with a final thing, not about international master in business administration, of which I'm a part-time faculty when I have time from my research and consultancy task, is that I think you can get the same thing by yourselves. As long as you want to learn, there's plenty of information in the internet. I mean, a lot of things you're going to find them there. What you find in a master program is that you can contrast the things with your classmates and with practitioners like myself and try to find it out. My point is that you don't need to make a master program. Master programs are expensive. If you want, it's going to help you. It's going to make it easier. But in any case, you choose the path that you want, but you need to rethink yourselves and you have to reload yourselves. And this is a new matrix. And this new matrix has different rules. I have tried to show you and share with you some of them, but it's something that you should consider seriously. And I don't know which way you're going to follow to become a new you, but you definitely need to change the way you see the world and how you work. Because as I said at the beginning, and I like to say in my classes, your ignorance and reality is very complex. I am too, but I know that, I knew that a long time ago, so it's easier for me now to understand that I need to keep learning and reading and looking at World Bank reports and looking at European and OCDE, and I'm trying to keep updated all the time because it's difficult. I work as an expert for the European Commission, and I have to assess different programs of federations, associations that want to become international, and they tell you the marketing plans and what do they plan to do. And what I see is that there's a huge need of professionals. You may say that there's a lot of unemployment, which is true, and it's going to be bigger. But at the same time, believe me, a lot of problems are going to be that they don't have the right professionals in a lot of the positions that they're offering. And this is my talk, Karen, so I give you back the word. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Jesús, for your brilliant presentation. Now we have a couple of questions for you, and of course for Luca as well. We have one question for you that says, how to face a process of professional growth in the midst of a flagging economy?
Okay, my answer is a joke. These two guys who were in the mountains, in the Rocky Mountains, and they saw a grizzly bear. standing up on the back feet. And one of the guys start tying the knots of his sneakers, and he tried to run. And the other guy says, "You're crazy. You're never going to be faster than a grizzly bear." He said, "Well, I only need to be faster than you." The point is that the economy is going to become tough, but we have to be faster than the other people in the market. And we have to choose the companies that are going to make it, because some companies are going to make it. There's always going to be consumption. So the better prepared you are, the faster you are. You may not be faster than the crisis, but you may be faster than other companies and other professionals. And your second question?
Thank you very much for your answer. And the second question says, what advice will you give to professionals or even students to face the new and changing labor markets?
The new and changing?
Labor markets.
Labor markets. The first one is that try to look, forget what you knew before. Forget about your title and your diploma. I told you before that I had the opportunity, because my father is Hispano-Filipino. So I had the opportunity to rise in a multicultural family. And I think of my professional life, the thing that has helped me more is the knowledge of the world, to travel, to live abroad, and to speak foreign languages. That has give a boost to my career. And I will tell you, try to be prepared, not so much to get the diploma, master of the universe, but to be able to have skills that other people don't have. Have the right attitude. When you go, you say, how can I work more than the others? I mean, there will be time for the balance of personal and professional life. There will be time to do your hobbies. Now is try to focus to say, okay, I'm going to become a very good professional. Try to focus like a laser beam. Try to say, okay, I'm going to concentrate some years of my life to become one of the best professionals in the field, and then I can relax and I can actually do what I want. Okay, that will be my advice.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jesus, for your presentation and for answering our questions.
Okay.
We also have a couple of more questions, I think, for Luca.
Karen, excuse me. I need to go because they're expecting me in another meeting. It's been a pleasure to be with you. If there's any extra question, you can send them to me, and I will gladly answer to you, and you can share with the participants, okay?
For sure. Thank you very much for your
participation. Thank you very much to all of you. Gracias a todos. Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, thank you, Luca, for staying here with us. I think we have a couple of more questions for you, and that's it. So the first question will be, what was the most challenging part of being an international student?
Being an international student, it's very challenging, first of all. And before I told that we knew only the weight of the suitcases when we arrived in China. So the travel is very complex and everything goes very fast. But probably the most challenging thing, it's like in ESIC and it's International Business School, is to adapt yourself to the to working with people of every part of the world. So your colleague close to you could be Chinese or American or French or Spanish or Italian in my case, so or from Africa, from every part of the world. So you have to think in a global way. This is probably the most challenging thing in the program. And a little suggestion, if I can, it's don't try to change other people, other person. Please adapt to the environment, because not our environment is not right and other environment is wrong. No, everybody, you have to respect everybody, and please don't try to change the attitude or the culture or the mindset of other people of different nationalities. This could be very risky. So please.
Thank you very much. Our next question will be, how do you think ESIC prestige or reputation can contribute to your professional career?
More or less 15 years ago or 20 years ago, having an MBA was something extraordinary, something very strong. Today, if you want to be a first-class executive, especially in the international business world, you have, it's a must. An MBA, it's a must. You have to know notions, first of all, but not only notions and study, but the application and the practice and the business cases. So the International MBA, it's a program very useful now, and the ESIC reputation, of course, help this kind of process because it's very well reputed, including in Italy. And so this the reputation and the prestige of ESIC help this kind of process. But first of all, you have to think that focus on invest in yourself, and you have to know that an international MBA is something is a must today if you want to achieve some important position like first-class international executive.
Awesome, thank you very much. And our last two questions. The first one will be, what do you think it makes the International MBA a unique program?
Yes, this the International MBA is a unique program because you are studying in two different continents, first of all. Then, not only, your classmates belong to different nationalities. So you have to start to realize that you are not alone. So please work in team and starting in to reason in a different way. But ESIC is very different from other MBA program, international MBA especially, because our the classroom in ESIC and the classes are small. So we like 30 people, not 70 or hundreds, like in other parts of the world or in Spain too. So if you are 20, 25, it's more engaging. And this is unique because in 1 year you have the time, the perfect time to know everybody and to create your new network. This is very important and unique, of course.
Awesome, thank you very much. And you were talking about the classes there at ESIC. So do you know if they are on-campus classes now, or how is ESIC facing all this pandemic situation?
ESIC is a multinational reality. So please don't be scared about this kind of restriction, because ESIC is extremely organized. And I think that now is the moment to apply an international program, because especially in Europe, I'm living now in Italy, we can see the end, the light, so the end of this terrible pandemic. And then I think that this is the moment, because the travel will be enabled and are in European Union. So please don't be scared about this aspect, because it's ESIC is very open, and the professor, as you know, are working in an effective way. So don't be scared about this. And Karen, if you are agree, I want to share my only one moment. As you see, my surname. I am Luca Antonietti. So please, like Jesus told before, if you want to add me in LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, in every social network, I can help you. I can help you for, it's part of my corporate social responsibility. So please, you can contact me when you want. I will answer to more questions. So I am here. So.
Awesome, Luca. Thank you very much for your help and for all the answers you gave us during this presentation. I think this will be the end of the webinar. Last but not least, I would like to share with you a short video just to finish. Thank you very much once again helping us with all these questions. Okay.
Power, but ignore its Many people talk about power, but ignore its true meaning. Power is not about being promoted, but adding value to your company. It is not about speaking many languages, but using your voice to change the world. It is not about having the right answers, but about raising the right questions. It means being determined and not letting doubts overwhelm you. It means understanding that your values inspire those who follow you. It is more than just conquering your goals. It's about conquering yourself. Lead your life. Lead your future. Many people.
Well, now I think this is going to be the end of this webinar. Once again, thank you very much to all.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, everybody. And welcome ESIC as soon as possible. I would like to visit again ESIC and see you there.
For sure, I'm sure you provided us, and you provide all the people who are watching us really useful information to start the process of studying abroad. If any of our attendees have any other questions, we encourage them to send us your questions through all these social media networks that we saw before. And on the screen, you saw the full name of Luca, so you can contact him directly, or you can also go to visit the ESIC's website to find more information about the International MBA and other programs as well. So thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you very much for your brilliant presentation, and I hope to see you all soon.
Thank you.
Bye.